I was born into this world with no father to hold me. My mother always said, "You are enough for me," but deep inside, I knew something was missing. The other kids at school would talk about their fathers, how they taught them to ride bikes, bought them toys, or told them bedtime stories. I had none of that. When I was 6, I asked my mother, "Why don't I have a father like the others?" She hesitated, her eyes wet with tears. "Your father chose not to be part of our lives," she said softly. "But it's not your fault, my child. You are my blessing." I didn't understand. What did I do to make my father leave? As I grew older, I learned more. He rejected me from birth. He told my mother I wasn't his child, even though she begged him to stay. He walked away, leaving her alone to care for a newborn. Life was not easy for us. My mother worked as a cleaner, scrubbing floors and washing clothes for other people. Some nights, she came home too tired to even talk. I would heat up the little food we had and place it in front of her. She would smile, even when I knew she was in pain. We struggled, but my mother taught me to work hard and never give up. "Education is your way out," she would say. I studied harder than anyone in my school. While others played, I read. While others slept, I dreamed of a better future. When I finished school, I couldn't afford university, so I started small. I worked as a delivery boy during the day and sold snacks at night. Slowly, I saved enough money to start my own business, a small shop selling electronics. The business grew faster than I ever imagined. I worked day and night, and soon, I was earning more money than I thought possible. I bought my mother a house, something she had never dared to dream of. The day I handed her the keys, she broke down in tears and said, "I always knew you would make me proud." Life was finally good, but one evening, everything changed. I received a phone call from an unknown number. "Hello," I answered. "Hello, my son," a deep voice said. I froze. My heart raced. It was him, the man who left me. The man who said I wasn't his child. I didn't know what to say for years. I had imagined this moment. I had dreamed of what I would say if he ever came back. But now that it was happening, I felt nothing but confusion. "I want to meet you," he said. The next day, I agreed to meet him. He was sitting on a bench at a park when I arrived. He looked older than I had imagined, his face lined with wrinkles, his hair gray. When he saw me, he stood up and smiled. "You've grown into a fine man," he said. I didn't smile back. "Why are you here?" I asked. He lowered his head. "I made a mistake," he said. "I was young and foolish. I didn't know what I was losing. Please forgive me." His words felt heavy. I looked at him and remembered all the nights I cried myself to sleep, wishing I had a father. I remembered the hunger, the loneliness, and the shame I felt when other kids asked about my dad.
"You left me," I said, my voice shaking. "You left my mother to struggle. You didn't care if we lived or died. And now you're here, calling me your son." He tried to hold my hand, but I pulled away. "I know I hurt you," he said. "But I'm proud of the man you've become. I want to be part of your life now." I laughed bitterly. "You're proud of me. You didn't raise me. You didn't even believe I was your child. My mother is the one who sacrificed everything for me. She is the one who deserves my love, not you." He looked like he wanted to cry. "Please, give me a chance to make it right," he said. I stood there, torn between anger and pity. A part of me wanted to forgive him. After all, he was my father. But another part of me couldn't forget the years of pain he caused. "You're too late," I said. "I don't need you anymore." I turned and walked away, leaving him standing there. My heart felt heavy, but I knew I had made the right choice. That night, I sat with my mother and told her everything. She held my hand and said, "You did what was best for you, my son. You owe him nothing." Even now, I think about him sometimes. I wonder if he truly regrets what he did or if he just wants a piece of my success. I forgave him in my heart, but I will never let him hurt me again.